Hey folks, Chef Jesse here today. How are you? Well, folks, today I'm going to cook. It's a rainy, nasty day, and this is the perfect weather to have to stay in bed in front of the fireplace, have some soup, all that good stuff. So, and I have a fake fireplace, so maybe I'll put it on later on. Anyway, folks, today I'm going to make a it's a Spanish stew. It's a Spanish stew, soup. So many ways you can describe it, but it's called Sancocho, and it is based on a lot of tropical vegetables. Okay, now there's hundreds of ways of doing this. I know that I learned how to cook this back in the '90s. I know the Dominicans put like different kind of meats. They call it 4, 5, 6 meats. I don't know. I just don't know. But people do it differently. And of course, Chef Jesse does it differently, right? So I'm going to show you how this is done. You can say it's wrong, it's right. I don't care. I'm just showing you how I do it, and it tastes good. Hey, what do you want me to do? Hey, come on. So I'm going to start with basics. This thing takes about 2 hours, 2.5. Okay, it has a lot of, like I said, tropical vegetables in it. I don't put a lot of stuff in it because I don't like a lot of some of this stuff I don't like. I used to put it in for the flavoring, but now I just put in stuff that I'm familiar with and that I like. So it's gonna have some green plantains, some plátanos. It's gonna have some green cooking bananas in it. It's gonna have corn on the cob. It's going to have squash. It's going to have sweet potato, what they call batata. It's going to have a bunch of other stuff. And I'm going to start off my basics. I'm going to start off by boiling water with pork neck bone. Okay, there's people who use different kind of meats and pig feet, and I don't know. I've seen everything, but I'm going to start off with just basic pork neck bones, and that's what's going to give me the flavor. So I'm going to boil that for maybe, I don't know, maybe an hour or so, just to get the flavor out of that bone, out of that meat. And that's what's gonna be my basis for the sancocho, okay? And in there, I'm gonna be showing you how to put the meat in there. The meat is frozen, doesn't matter. You can put it in there. It's gonna boil, so of course it's gonna defrost. I'm gonna start off with a simple pot of water, a big pot of water. I'm gonna put the meat in there, and I'm gonna put a whole onion in there. I'm going to put a whole green pepper in there, which all that stuff I'm going to remove. I'm just going to boil this for an hour or so just to get the flavoring out of it, and then I'm going to be able to get this stuff out and get rid of it. So that's what I'm going to start doing, and then I'm going to put some garlic powder, salt, pepper, and all that other stuff, and that's how I'm going to start my basics. So stay with me because I'm going to show you how this pot looks. Okay, folks. So I just called out my green pepper. There you go. Okay, and don't worry about if there's any seeds in there. There's a lot of stuff that's gonna go in here. And I took my big Spanish onion. You can use, I guess, any kind of onion. White onion, Vidalia, sweet onion, whatever. I'm just using this is the first thing I picked up was Spanish. Nothing particular, just Spanish onion. So I'm going to put it in my pot right now. I'm going to drop it into my pot. I'm going to show you how this looks. And I'm going to take my pepper. I'm going to cut it. I called it, and then I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to make 2 pieces. And I'm going to take this pepper. I don't leave it in. So I cut it like this. And I'm going to just dump it in here. So this is my basics. Let me show you how that looks. Okay. So I'm going to swing it over here and show you how it looks. Okay. So here goes my pot. Okay. Now in here I'm going to put some garlic powder. Let me find my garlic powder. Okay, I'm going to put some garlic powder, and you're going to taste this as you going to make sure that it has all what it needs. I'm going to put some salt in there. Okay. And don't worry about too much salt because remember you're putting in vegetables and stuff in there, so it's going to if it's too salty, the vegetables will soak it up and will bring it down. So don't worry about the sodium intake. I'm going to put some I use some adobo, which is like a seasoning that has everything in it. It's got garlic, it's got pepper in it. So I put all that in there. Put some pepper. Okay. Pepper. Don't worry, again, this is all gonna get mixed up in there, everything. And then later on I'm gonna put tomato sauce in there and all that other stuff in there. So this is what I'm starting out with for this big giant pot. This pot is a family heirloom. Believe it or not, this pot belonged to my grandmother. This pot right here, and it was passed on to my mother. And my mother passed it on to me. This pot, they don't make pots like this anymore. This is an aluminum actual pot. I mean, this is amazing, this pot, and I would never get rid of it. When I'm done with it, I'm going to pass it on to the next generation. I'll probably pass it on to my niece or something, and they can, they can cook on it. I'm telling you, they don't make pots like this anymore. This is a restaurant style pot, and some of the stuff is going to boil out over. So I'm gonna later on, when I start to add all the ingredients, it's going to boil over. So I have to get another pot on the side. But this is a pretty big pot. It's actually six quarts. But of course, because I'm putting in the vegetables and that stuff, it's gonna get full a bit. So what I do, I start pouring some of the juice out and put it into another pan. So I make a pot and a half of this sancocho, and it can last you for for a week. I mean, you put it in the refrigerator and it gets more thicker and more flavor because all the vegetables are in it. I'm telling you, this is delicious. If you've never done it, sancocho, look up. There's tons of recipes on YouTube, and I looked at that. Some of them sound very particular, weird. I saw one that they put beans in and everything. I don't know about. I don't do beans, but anyway, this is the basic sancocho that I am making with the way I like it and the way that I. This video is going to be in a couple parts because this video is going to be long. So if it's probably be in about maybe 2 parts or 3. So I'm going to start boiling it. I'm going to turn on my stove. Very simple, and just let it boil there for. The meat is in the bottom, and the vegetable, the onion and the pepper in there, and I'm going to start boiling this. And it's going to boil for, like I said, an hour and a half, because I want to get that juice. I want to get that flavoring out of the pepper, out of the onion, out of the neck bones. I want to get that flavor out of there, and then I'm going to start adding all the other stuff. Like I said, I have all the Latin tropical thing, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to start doing that in a few minutes. So stay tuned. So, folks, I'm starting to prepare my vegetables for this. I'm going to start off cutting my green bananas. These are green bananas, okay? These are green bananas. You get them in most supermarkets. Before they turn yellow, they're green, right? We all know that. If you didn't, well, a lesson. So I'm going to take these green bananas, make sure they're real green, and then I'm going to open them up. They open up, you got to open them up a little bit different from when you're peeling a yellow banana. Okay, and I'm going to show you how that's done. And I'm going to cut them into little wheels, and this is going to be part of the sancocho, okay? So let me show you how to cut that, to peel the green bananas. And I hope you can see that. There you go. Okay, so these are the green bananas. I'm gonna cut these. I'm gonna cut the ends off, like so. Okay, just a little piece off. And this is just like cutting a plantain. You're gonna take the knife, and you can use a smaller knife if you want, so you don't have that big giant. Okay, and you're gonna slide it, not all the way down. You're gonna slide it till it just opens up a bit. There you go, and then you just peel it. And this is how you peel green bananas. Okay. And they should, if you're having any trouble peeling them, you can run them underneath warm water, like so. Let me see. Warm them up, put them underneath warm water, and they peel right off. Okay, they peel right off. And there you go. Okay, this is the hardest part of making the sancochos, peeling and preparing all the vegetables. And there it goes. So you get most of it off. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut these into little wheels. And there you go. Very simple. I got one. Okay. And I'm going to put that into a bowl like this. And let me just do that one more time so that you can see. Cut off the ends. Take your knife. Slightly cut into the skin. Use some warm water. I find it more easier. And I got this knife here that doesn't cut anymore. It's real dull. It's like a butter knife. And look how easy this peels off, okay? Make sure these bananas are very green. You don't want any, in between going to ripe and stuff. And there you go. And you start peeling it. And most of the time you get all the whole skin out in one shot. If not, just take it off in sections. No big deal. Okay, there you go. Okay, you go reverse, fingers underneath the skin, and you start to peel them. Okay, so that's how you peel these green bananas. Okay, you see some spots there, you can take it off. I don't know. I take it off. Take that off. Okay, and I cut it into, and then there's some green stuff in there, and I cut it into wheels, about 1 inch apart or half an inch. This is all going to go into the sancocho. This gives it a lot of good flavor. So on this big pot, I'm going to do about three plantains. I mean three green bananas. So folks, that's how you peel green banana. So stay tuned, because I'm going to show you how to do the other one, the rest of the stuff. Okay, one of the stuff so we just peeled the green bananas, right? I'll show you how to do it. And now I'm going to show you how to do the plantain. I think I've shown you this before when I made mofongo and stuff. But now we're going to start doing the green plantain. And the green plantain is basically the same. It's a little bit harder. And the skin is a little bit harder, thicker. So let me show you how that's done. And I'll show you how we peel the green plantains. The plátanos, okay? And, okay, so same thing. We cut the ends. There we go. We cut the ends. The ends go in the garbage. Same thing like the green banana. Cutting it down. Okay. Some warm water. Warm water just makes it peel easier. You don't have to put the warm water if you don't have water nearby. But then you start to peel it. And then look how easy it peels off. Okay, using the tip of a knife, or you can use a spoon, I guess, I don't know. And you take it from the bottom. There you go. And you start to peel it. This is green banana, green plantains, okay? The plátano is a tropical vegetable that grows on a palm tree, and it's tropical, and it's you can eat it fried. You can eat it fried, smashed. I've made this thing called mofongo. You use this. So here goes your green plantain, okay? And I'm gonna cut those also in wheels, okay? In little circles, okay? And I'm going to cut them smaller because plátano grows, which means that when you put it in it expands. When you put it in the water, it expands. So these things are going to expand a little bit. So you don't want them too thick, okay? So there goes. I just cut up one, and that's what it looks like. And I put that into a bowl, okay? And then I'm going to do another one. And then I'm going to do some other things with the rest of the plátano, which they look like little meatballs, and they're made from the plátano. And I'm going to show you how that's done, because that's a little bit intense. Okay. Well, folks, just somebody just asked me, what are you doing? What are you cooking? So going back, it is called Sancocho. It's a Latin vegetable soup, sort of stew, like, okay, and people do it differently. I know that there's a lot of ways that people do it. They use different kind of meats. They do it differently, but this is the way I do it. This is the way I've been doing it since the 90s, when I learned the first time how to do it. And it's always been delicious. I've taken it to my coworkers. They love it. They like it. I mean, they really do. So I know a friend of mine's out there, coworker, friend. I won't mention her name, but she knows who she is. I know she's gonna die when she sees this stuff. So anyway, I'm going to now make. So I cut up slices of plátano, and I cut up slices of green banana. Now I'm going to make these little balls. They look like meatballs, but they're made from plantains, from plátanos. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to grate the plátano down, and I'm going to make these little balls, and I'm going to put it into the soup. It gives a great flavor, and it tastes great. So let me bring you down and show you how that's done. Okay, I hope you can see that. Okay, so I got myself a grater here. Okay, and I'm going to start grating this on this side. On this side here, let me just rinse this out a bit. I only use this. I use this usually to grate cheese and stuff. So I'm gonna take the plátano, which I've already peeled, and I'm just gonna start. Okay, now you gotta watch your fingers when you do this. And this is most of preparing this stuff for the soup is what's time consuming. Once everything is boiling in the pot, it's just easy. So just always watch your fingers, right? And just grate this down, grate it down. I'm using a plate in the bottom there, a bowl, and I'm going to grate these plátanos, okay? And you're gonna see how this comes out. Okay, so I'm gonna, depending how, how much you like, I usually do about 3 or 4 of these. And this is all part of all the vegetables. Somebody asked me, somebody just texted me and asked me, what's the origin of this, this dish that I'm making? The origin, I read about it. It's actually from the Indians, the tropic Indians, who were there in the island. when Christopher Columbus came over, and they taught the Europeans, and the Europeans mixed it up with their style, whatever it is, and to create the Sancocho. So, but this is basic, a native indigenous people who lived in those tropic islands when Columbus came and did his thing, whatever it was. So this is where it comes from, and it's a mixture of European and Indian and African, all those roots in those islands, because as you know, the Europeans were the first ones that got onto those islands, and a lot of Italians, Portuguese, Spaniards, of course, and then and the Indians taught them some stuff, and they taught the Indians some stuff, and of course we know the story, they wiped out the Indians and all stuff, but I'm not going to get into that because this is not history class, this is cooking. So, but read about it. It's very interesting history. A lot of people don't know the true history, and there's more to it than what we were taught in school. So, but a lot of this stuff is native vegetables to those islands, folks. This is stuff that's left over from centuries, from when the Indians used to cook this stuff, and a lot of these, most of these things were introduced to the Europeans through the Indians. So I'm grating this stuff here. There you go. Okay. And like I said, always watch your hands, watch your fingers. You can use gloves if you want. I just don't like using gloves because it slips sometimes. And of course, my hands are clean. I wash them, and I'm constantly underneath the water. So, and I try to grate this as much as possible all the way to the bottom. You can leave it like that, but I'm challenging myself, and I go down and I go slowly. And I take it down to as much as possible. And like I said, you can grate as many as you want of these, to put it depending on the size of the soup that you're making. There you go. And I think I can't get too much out of this yet, but this is a little piece left. And okay. So I take this out here, and I'm gonna make these things are gonna look like meatballs, and I'm going to start shaping them into what they look like meatballs. I'm gonna make them small because, again, this grows when it's cooking. See, it's like a meatball, and you go, and it gives it some great flavor. It really does. It's got that taste like pasteles, and it gives you a great taste. So this is how you make the little balls here, plátano balls. I don't make them too big because, like I said, they expand when you're cooking. They expand, and they're kind of a little bit dry. So you don't want to make them too big. So, if they stick to your hand, just wash your hands with cold water, and then you can start making them again. Okay? So, like I said, you can use 3 to 4 plátanos to make some of this. This is all these vegetables I'm cutting up here and everything is going to be added at the end to the pot. Every single thing you see here is going to be added to the pot and then boiled and cooked in with the rest of the ingredients. Right now, my I don't know if you can see, but my water is starting to get hot and boil. And I'm going to boil that onion in there with that green pepper in there for about an hour or so, because I want to get all that flavor out of those bones, out of those neck bones. And there goes my plátano meatballs. That's what they look like. That's what I call them. Okay. And I'm going to make 2 small ones here because I want to. If you find yourself you want to make more, you can always take off from another one, and you can create another one. Okay. And if you want to make more, you just take a little bit out of one, and you can actually come up with another one. I don't know. can come up with a little bit of this one. I'll take a little bit out of this one. Definitely take out of this one. Okay. There you go. And I'm going. So I took a little bit out of each one, and I made another one, another meatball. Pretty medium size, but okay. So I got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 11. I was pushing for 12, but that's good. Okay. Just make sure. Okay. Squeeze them just like you do the meatballs. Just squeeze them to get the air pockets out of them. Okay. You want to get the air pockets out of that so they don't fall apart. Sometimes they fall apart in the soup, and it's not good, you know. I mean, it's good. It'll give the flavor, but you won't get the. See? So there goes my little Puerto Rican meatballs, we should call them. I don't know. So, okay, we're gonna put that to the side, and now we're gonna continue. So folks, we're going to continue doing the rest of the vegetables, so stay tuned. Okay folks, so the next thing I'm going to be cutting is I call it a batata. It is a sweet potato. It's a sweet potato similar to I guess yams. Comes off in the same family, but this is white. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, so I got one here, and I'm going to start peeling it. And I got my trusty peeler here, which helps me peel it real nice. I don't know if you can see it, but this is terrific. This is a Swiss blade peeler that I got from this guy who used to sell these peelers out in the streets. And I remember I bought this back in the 90s. The guy passed away, but he was all over the street. He was a traveling salesman, and he used to sell these. And this is amazing, this cutter, I'm telling you. I'm sorry that he passed away. I didn't buy it. I think I bought 2 of them. There were 2 for $5, 1 for $3. And it's amazing, and the blade stays sharp all the time. I cut potatoes with this. I cut carrots. I mean, everything. It's just crazy the way this thing cuts. And this is my batata, my white sweet potato. I guess you can call it. And I just put this in there because it's got a little bit of a sweet taste to it, and I like putting some sweetness into the stew. So what I do is I cut it. I'm gonna cut it in circles and then in quarters. And you need a good knife for this. This knife needs sharpening. There you go. Just be very careful when you're doing this. Okay, there you go. So all this cutting and everything really leaves you open to cutting yourself. So remember, quarters, okay? And I definitely need to sharpen this knife. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put that into my bowl of all the other vegetables, because this is all going at the same time into the mix. Okay, so there we go. So folks, now it's time to cut up this is very hard. This is squash, or it's a type of pumpkin. Actually, it is a pumpkin. Okay, so folks, this is a type of pumpkin. Like it's squash, okay, and it's very hard. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean out the seeds, and then I'm going to cut this. I'm going to peel it, and I'm going to cut this in pieces to add to my sancocho. So stay tuned. Okay, folks. So this is a little bit tricky how to cut this squash or green pumpkin, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to show you what I'm doing to it. Okay. So I don't know if you can see it. I cut it out. I took all the seeds out, and now I'm trying to get as much. Be careful, as much as I can of the skin. Okay, and the skin is pretty hard, so you have to like take chunks away from it. But this is basically it. Okay, and I just peel it so I don't see any more green. There you go. And I'll just cut this up in pieces. And this also gives a good flavor, and it helps thicken up the stew. And I put this in that bowl with all the other vegetables, because it's all going to one spot. Let me show you one more time how to do this. I got my squash. This is squash. I think they call it squash. There you go. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to take the skin off by doing this. I'm going to lose some of the meat, some of the skin. but this is how you do it, okay? And I know there's probably people who do it differently. I don't know. I'm doing it the way I know. Okay, so there you go. I'm getting most of it off. It's getting hot in the kitchen already. Okay, there you go. Take some of that off. Take some of that off. Okay. So then I take it, and I don't eat this, but it gives a good flavor. There's a lot of stuff I don't eat. I just throw it in for the flavoring because the flavoring is good. So there we go. Put that in the bowl with the other vegetables, because again, everything's going in at the same time. And you can see my pot there starting to get hot. Oh, getting dizzy there. So folks, that's basically the beginning of the Sancocho. And I have to cut this video because it's too long that I won't be able to download it, okay? So that's the basics. And there's other vegetables and stuff that I have up there to cut up. And you can use all kind of other vegetables. I just don't like some of them, so I don't put it in. I put it in sometimes to give it a flavor and stuff. But there's tons of other tropical vegetables that you can put in. I don't even know what the names of them are. I've never eaten them. But there's other stuff you can put in there. Oh, I also put yuca, which is cassava. That's going in there too. So let me take that out and peel that, and then. So anyway, folks, I'm gonna cut this video short. This is the beginning of the Sancocho, and then I'm gonna do the second part and show you how it's done. See you guys later.